Welcome all to another week. This time it's week 10 of the NFL Millie Roundtable. As always, I'm joined by former Millie Maker winner, Felix. How are you doing, man?
I mean, probably not as good as you this past week that you've had, but I'm feeling pretty good. But yeah, I was again, like we were talking a little bit pre-show. I was probably just as excited, or at least my wife thought I was, that my co-host, my host, won it. So I was pretty excited this past week.
Yeah, it's on the site that we shall not name. But yeah, for those who don't know, I had the biggest hit of my life on Sunday. Caleb Williams with 3 Bears and Brock Bowers and Drake London, obviously. Kyron Williams, Texans defense. And then, Christian McCaffrey was the other one. It ended up being a $270,000+ day. Did not get there on DraftKings because I didn't have really any Drake London, Felix. I did have some top 500 lineups. I think I even had a top 100 lineup in the NFL Millie on DraftKings. But again, just didn't have the right combo like I did over there. But good time ahead. You know the feeling. I was telling you beforehand, obviously you won a Millie in the best ball streets. Week 17 was probably one of the biggest sweats ever for you. And
yeah, it is crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you wouldn't
trade play of the game. Yeah, I wouldn't trade that for anything. I can imagine you can't trade it for anything either.
Oh, yeah, you're not kidding, man. And I still gotta hit 3 and a third of that just to catch up to you. So we still got a lot of work to do.
You'll catch up. You're a lot younger than me. You're a lot younger than me.
No, not that much younger, man. It's good stuff. I mean, like I was telling you, I am completely worn out. I am ready for a solid week ahead. I drank a lot, but my body is also paying the price. I ended up catching an illness, a little bit of a cold, but hey, we powered through. We got 10 NFL games this week. We got the Panthers and Saints to start us off here in a second, but you also have a London game, which is the Colts and Falcons at 9:30. So you get one more international game. There might be even one next week if I remember right. But yeah, we get another international game to start your day off. It is between Daniel Jones and Michael Penix. Hopefully it's not too bad at all. It could be a nice little Jonathan Taylor spot. It'll be nice.
What a game to like. I wish they would have replaced that with one of these games on here. Just send those two teams over.
Oh, for real. And I'll tell you what, the Drake May-led Patriots looked really good against the Falcons last week in the first half, and then completely flipped in the second half. That defense kind of showed its teeth a little bit. It was pretty cool. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Broccoli Taco, what's up, man? Matty Ice, you got Nightmare in the chat. Rod, hopefully you guys are all doing well. Well, we already got a fantasy question from a guy, Abreu68. Yeah, Jose Abreu. So I assume that's Tez, right?
Yeah, it's got to be because I had that same quandary earlier this week.
Gut check would be Parker, just because with Brian Thomas out.
I'm going Tez because they could push the pace a little bit.
That Texans spot is sneaky tough too. We'll bring up that Bucs game. I know we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, the second game, but when we bring up that Bucs game, we will definitely check that out a little bit.
Yeah.
P. Lally, hopefully you're doing well. He loves the powder blue as always. You're a Chargers guy. So that's
the Najee Harris jersey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Najee Harris you got for your birthday last. That's nice. And you got Danny saying Ted Johnson's got a better game. That is true with a massive difference in teams, like 7 points, basically an entire touchdown. And then we know how those Patriots games have looked too. I mean,
but see, I was high on Rome last week, and game pace does not always mean your guy gets there. I was a little over the weight on Rome Odunze last week, and that was not fun.
So that was actually kind of what sabotaged me even more on DK was I might have had a splash of Drake London. I didn't really go back to check on DK, but Odunze was much cheaper on DK relative to FanDuel. So I had way more Odunze on DraftKings, and that's kind of what led to the nut combo probably being over on FanDuel was, I didn't jam him as much because the pricing was so restrictive. But yeah, we will go ahead and P. Lally knows what's going to happen. This is Rose week now. Yeah, the flop flag maybe in a good spot. So let's go ahead and get started on the set of 10 games here. You got the Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. And what do you know here, Felix? They're giving the ball to our guy.
Yes.
Our guy, Rico now.
I never thought he would be my guy. Drafted 0 of him in best ball, but I'm running that hot hand all the way through.
Oh, absolutely. And you got a very healthy rushing prop. It was in the mid 90s a little bit earlier in the week.
Yeah.
It is just an absolutely great spot. But then you look at maybe other guys potentially that you could be looking at. And this game doesn't scream like it's one of the best ones in the business, right? You got Shuck, you got Young, you got Jawan Johnson. But then you start looking where like Tet is, man. Tet's got a pretty low projection for his standard. What do you think about this game overall?
He came in questionable. I think that's part of why he's coming a little bit lower owned right now. I do like the Panthers again, which is weird because they've been kind of bottom of the barrel for the last couple of years. But yeah, team actually, if coming out healthy, I don't know what I didn't check the injury list today, but if he is active, I do think he gets peppered and can do fairly well. But I'm going to be smashing at 5,900 for Rico Dowdle, who has like two of the biggest rushing performances this season. I think it's kind of moronic that if you don't smash it. I know it's a big ownership probably on him again this week just because of the price and the work that he's going to get. But yeah, he's probably gonna be one of my bigger stands this week.
Yeah, it's tough to get away from him, right? And when they are intent on feeding him, which was the case last week against Green Bay Packers, and they have fed him before. I know it was 2 nut spots when you had like the Dolphins and whoever else they played. At the end of the day, when Rico gets fed the rock, he produces at the highest clip in the NFL right now, right? That's like better than anyone in terms of rushing the ball on the ground. I'm with you, Felix. I have a hard time avoiding him at 6,300. We get P. Lally mentioning a Sabre is jamming Rico and the Carolina D. Yeah. It makes sense, right? Like Tyler Shuck, he looked slightly better than I would have thought last week. But, man, when you start putting together stuff on tape, and there's a reason why the Panthers are a decent size
shipping everything,
Oh, and 3,500 for the Panthers here for the defense. Like, it's not like they're a max 4K. If you were to scroll across the top here, like, look where even the Browns and Jets are, right? They got better team totals than the Saints. So you got the best spot in terms of team total for your defense and one of the best running back plays on the entire slate. It makes sense the Sabres doing that. I assume when they are doing that, they're also mixing in some lower-owned plays in the mix as well. Anything else that you wanted to add? I know that we talked about Alvin Kamara in the past and his passing game role, right? That was something that we kind of talked about. But then, like, Devin Neal kind of popped up and stole a lot of those receptions.
So there's one play. This is probably my Keyshawn Booty play of the week, and it's Mason Tipton. Before he gets a lot of knowledge put onto him, a lot of tape put on him, he's replacing really the Rashid. I know everybody's on Bailey, but Rashid Shaheed was more of like what he started out at least as the downfield presence, and that's what Mason Tipton is. He's a downfield guy. He has got great hands, good speed. I think if there's a splash play on the other side of Olave, it's going to be Tipton.
Yeah, I actually really like that one because Tipton was a guy that produced in our preseason stuff. And, he was an absolute beast. And he even played like a decent bit last year, if I recall correctly. That guy will probably be 0.1% owned. But there's the uncertainty of this, right? It's people are assuming that it's going to be Vela, right? Yes. When in reality, it could easily be Tipton. And, look, at the end of the day, it's Shuck throwing him the ball. So I think that's the one risk overall.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a smash. I'm just saying if he is going to produce at least a long touchdown, from that side, it's going to be Tipton.
It's got to be a nice projection on him too. I got to go ahead and get this grayed out Sabre figured out for the most part. But Tipton did produce in preseason. It's just a matter of snaps, and if they do want to go away from Cooks entirely, like that's the possibility here. Is that they would go away from the vet like Cooks and just start putting in the young guys, and Vele being one of them. You got Tipton being another. Sabre just off the rip here. If we go ahead and add in a contest sim, let's see if we can do anything with this. Just because I haven't reserved anything just yet, I'll have to do this. Hold on here. I'm going to add the contest sim, see what we get for the most part. But can I do this? Can I do this, Felix? Ooh. I think I got to do it through here. But this way, people can kind of see how much ownership is getting on the game in the millie for the most part. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Let's go ahead and go to build one, and then let's see how much our exposures look like on Sabre. And a big reason why I'm doing this, Felix, is because I couldn't get the names not grayed out without.
I see that. Yeah. No, that's weird.
So that's what we're gonna do. So
okay,
we're
that works.
And see where we kind of end up on. And this is. I think I'll just throw in a plug here too. But like, I use Sabre Sim last week. I use it every single week. it helps me manage, lineups across both DraftKings and FanDuel. And it tells me my ROI, my expected ROI, even during the slate live, what my best swaps are, who's got who ahead of me, basically. So I never want to go away from that for the most part. Let's go ahead and just check this out.
I think Bonfim just won if you watch any UFC. Just putting that out there.
Ooh, nice. Rico Dowdle, Panthers D, and then it would be like Tet. And obviously, Tet's status still slightly up in the air. If he missed, though, who would you go?
Leggett is the easy transfer of targets. But honestly, Bryce Young is not, known for throwing a whole bunch. I mean, last week he threw for just over 100 yards. I feel like it could easily just be another Dowdle game where they just run him into the ground and whatever limb he has left, they're just going to keep making him run it, man. It's just that's just what they're going to do. Like this should be a little bit of an easier game, but yeah, I think they just run Dowdle into the ground if the passing game isn't there.
Well, thank you, Nat LeBlanc. We got Tet McMillan in. I swear to God, I checked up at 8:50 on the couch while I was watching Smiling Friends, like looking for news. And naturally, this comes at 8:59 when I'm getting ready for the show. Tet in, we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, he's expected to play. 13 minutes ago.
All right, Jags taking on the Texans. The Texans have been a sneaky defense, and sneaky, I mean, they've been really good for the most part here. Saberson doesn't love this game entirely under the contest sims here, Felix. It's a little bit less on, more on the defense of the Jags here. You got Parker Washington's top skill player. You got Travis Etienne, which I don't really love, to be honest, especially with Bashal Tutin almost being the guy they prefer down in the goal line area, it seems. Nico Collins slightly pops up. You got De'Ami Brown, Dalton Schultz, Texas defense. What's your initial read on this game?
Travis Etienne has been looking so good lately, but this defense has been looking way better. So it's kind of hard to put a price. It's going to be I feel like a low scoring game with Davis Mills not being able to move the ball. And now they, De'Ami Brown, I believe, not to play, or at least Brian Thomas is out this week, and obviously Hunter on IR. It's going to be hard to get through the passing game already with Stingley out there. So they're going to have to use the running game, I think, to advance the ball. But the D-line's pretty good. So Etienne, he's going to get the work. He's going to middle it. I don't think he's going to have an explosive game. He has looked good, but then they pull him out when he gets close to the goal line because he can't push it in. So they bring in Tutin. And I think just the combo that points, it's just not enough on each one of each person.
Yeah, no, it makes sense there. And Patriots lawn care professionals. Tet is in. He is going to play tomorrow. Schefter just tweeted out a whole bunch of stuff if you wanted to check out his Twitter. I mean, P. mentions, Felix, that, Mills will chuck to Nico at the very least, right?
Sometimes he does chuck it. So I was on Nico before the Stroud year. I think it was 80% of him on my teams. And it is very inconsistent. I love Nico, Michigan guy, very explosive, but the inconsistencies of Davis Mills, it's you're playing with fire. You can take that chance. I'm going to have some, but I'm not going to be overweight because of you're betting on Davis Mills, and that's not a great bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the best bet in the world to be banking on some Davis Mills. But I will say this too, just kind of going on to the other side of the ball. I am looking more at the Jags in this game, and I didn't really expect that coming in. But if you were just look at where Trevor Lawrence goes with all his targets, right, it just feels like this is the spot for Parker Washington to get right. And I keep going back to that 4,700. I know Tez in a good game environment too. I go back to that question earlier. It's here's the case against him, right? Texans #4 pass defense in the league in terms of yards given up per game. However, who the hell else is going to get this ball in this Jags team? I mean, De'Ami Brown, Jacoby Myers. Do you really think Jacoby Myers integrated here is going to be, smashing right away? I don't think so. He's barely been in a week, Tim Patrick, it could just be Parker Washington gets 10 targets, right? That's just the reality of it. And I keep coming back to that as the only guy I really even love in this game because it is a slightly gross game, but then I look back at the Jags game last week. And they give up 39 points to, right?
Yeah.
It's Bowers and the Raider. Geno Smith is one of the worst quarterbacks ever this year. I mean, this is horrendous.
That Thursday game was terrible. I didn't watch it. I just turned it off.
I know it was windy, right? I actually live bet the under after I saw that ref's pants whipping in the wind right there, and the ball moves without anyone touching it. Right when he was setting it down, right? They gave up 29 to that guy last week. Like maybe I should be in on like Woody Marks for a really low owned play, right? Maybe I should be.
I'm in on Woody.
Oh, you know what? Woody could be a sub 1% guy who just pops up with 20 something DK, right? And
yeah,
I'm never going to be in on Chubb or anything like that. But man, I think Woody is going to be a guy who I just slightly get in on, and I think I'm going to throw in Nico and I'll have Parker Washington. But I don't want to get overly exposed in this game, but I keep coming back to the point that this Jags team, they're just not it, man. What are they like? What 5-3 now?
There's something that they shouldn't be.
Yeah, they're 5-3.
Yeah,
they're going to be 5-4 after tomorrow. I'll book that right now. I think the Texans beat their ass tomorrow. I'll say, even with Davis Mills as the quarterback.
That just feels like a 16-13 game. I don't know.
It does.
Like one touchdown for each team, and then a bunch of field goals.
I think the Texans are going to be able to move the ball, even with Davis Mills. I'm in on Nico. I'm in on Parker. I'm in on Woody Marks. I think I didn't expect to say that coming in, but they are all really low owned, man.
They are really low owned. Yes, I agree. But yeah, I'd rather bet on the run game than the passing game, I guess.
That's fair enough. That's absolutely fair enough. We'll move on to the Cleveland Browns taking on the New York Jets. I'm actually kind of shocked that Cleveland's team total, 20 points, right? I guess Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback, right? This Jets defense just traded away Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. That's bad.
Bad.
They're going to be horrendous. They were already terrible defensively. Then you give away your two best players.
Yeah.
I'm backing Cleveland to win this game. I still think Cleveland's a sneaky, decent team. Like, you wouldn't want to catch them on a week where Dylan Gabriel doesn't mess up, right? Like, it's like the number one thing, right? Like, Dylan Gabriel takes care of the ball. They score 24 points. Yeah, good luck. I think it's a week where Cleveland does put up 24, 27 points. Felix, and that's absurd to say. I get it. But this Jets defense, it might belong in the same category and just a tier above the Cowboys and Bengals at this time. And it's just bad, man. All of it. Both of these it's both bad. I think Kevin Stefanski was talking about giving the play calling up to Tommy Rees. So it might be bad. I don't know how Tommy Rees's play calling is going to be, but I'm hoping it's Junkins. I'm going to be playing a lot of Junkins, and I'm going to be sneaking in some Cedric Tillman. I listened to some other podcasts. A lot of people are on Jerry Jeudy. I just don't see how he throws it to the outside that well. But, Dylan Gabriel loves the camp in the middle of the field, right? It's a lot of Fan. It's a lot of Njoku. It's, maybe down the field with Cedric Tillman. Tillman and Fannin are both in, by the way. That was tweeted out by Schefter in the same slew that we just saw with Tet McMillan being in as well. Judkins is a good click, right? But at the end of the day, you're still getting that 15% ownership on a guy who's not going to catch the rock and you're banking on touchdowns. Is that the worst thing in the world? No, right? We saw it, 3 weeks ago when I got burned completely. It was my worst slate of the year, and I faded Judkins, and I faded whoever else that was Rasheed Rice slate. Yeah. Again. And then Jaden Daniels got hurt, right? So, that was a terrible slate 3 weeks ago. But, Judkins does have a path to failure. It's just him not finding the end zone. And when you're probably minus 150, minus 175 for a touchdown and stuff, you still got good odds to pay off that tag. It's just an ownership thing. But if he gets above 20%, I think I would be like, I don't love it at all. But if he's in this 13, 15% range, I think it's manageable. Garrett Wilson will play. Again, I like him. I just don't like this Jets offense against this Browns defense. I really don't, Felix. And it feels like they punted on the season. It feels like the Jets are just done. I think Cleveland, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, in 2025, I think they kicked their ass tomorrow.
I want to agree with you full-heartedly. Something inside me really wants to play a low-O Justin Fields again. I'm willing to get hurt just a little bit. I'm not going to, 100% him or anything, but I will be playing some naked Justin Field teams just on the off chance, low-owned, has upside. I don't know.
I mean, It's just the defense of the Browns is still good,
Yeah,
right? It's the fact that Tyrod Taylor is like back, and like it's just they're playing this game. Oh, he's not guaranteed to start, even though he put up 30-something against the Bengals, and wait, they're off the bye week, whatever. It's just the whole situation stinks. Aaron Glenn stinks. This defense stinks. They're clearly tanking.
Yeah.
I don't ever mind a sub 1% Justin Fields, but man, it kills me.
Yeah.
Breece Hall not being traded too after being rumored the entire time. He's got to be feeling like, what the hell is going on, right? What's going on? I'm on the Cleveland side, and I will be on Jerry Jeudy a little bit at 3,900. I don't think his ownership balloon's too high at all, Felix, for what it's worth. But again, this Jets defense is terrible. Man. It's terrible.
It's not good.
Two best pieces. Like, I will have some Dylan Gabriel doubles. I think if I had to rank them, it would be Jeudy, Fannin, Tillman, and Njoku. But they all kind of like flatline for me. Like, not dead, but like, just like I think they all just kind of sit there in the same range. Where if I had any type of double stack, I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see it. I just don't think. I don't know. I'm a Dylan Gabriel hater, I guess. I don't think he has what it takes to put up a big game. I think it's Judkins or nothing from the Browns, and it's Fields or nothing. I don't really want either part of this game. It could end up on the Million Maker winner, and I'd be a little bit surprised, I guess. But yeah, I think it's just another. These were probably the two ugliest games that we just had right there with the Jags and Texans, and then with their injuries, and then the sell-off of the Jets, and just the Tommy Reese being a play caller. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Sometimes I look at Dylan Gabriel and I think, wow, this guy's not great. And then I watch Bo Nix play football and put up 30
Oh,
points.
my God. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Dylan Gabriel is basically Bo Nix, man. He basically I'll back the Dylan Gabriel for us tomorrow. That was probably the three worst games of the slate. You're not kidding. That was a rough 20 minutes to start out. But, hey, we got some great games coming up, guys.
Yes,
I guarantee you, it's not all going to be pessimistic. Right?
No, they're good. They're good.
We're going to get into a team that gave up 42 points and won last week, the Chicago Bears. DeAndre Swift will play. So he realized that his job's on the line after what Madungai did last week. You got the Giants as well, who are very poor defensively. This game kind of has a little bit of potential for me here, Felix. I can never say no to stacking a Bears game up anymore, right? That's one thing that's going to be ingrained in me forever. Colston Loveland, he took advantage of Cole Kmet going out with an injury last game and absolutely nuked in the second half. You got Luther Burden back in the mix, it looks. And then you have this Giants team that, they might be down a couple guys. But Jackson Dart still looks halfway decent, man. He still looks pretty strong in the pocket. I'm kind of a big fan of his right now. Yeah. The one surprise last week was Singletary and Tracy basically almost evenly split snaps. So Tracy value ended up being a little bit rough. I think that's the word for it. What do you think about this game, though?
I was pretty on point with that one, I thought, last week with Singletary taking some work away from Tracy. It's just they don't fully trust Tracy with the amount of fumbles that he's had. I'm going to stay away from the running game from the Giants side. I do like some of their passing targets. I'm going to be heavy on Slayton this week. I feel like I'm a little bit on the popular opinion on that one, I thought. But seeing the ownership at 2%, maybe I'm not. Maybe that's the low owned real play of the low owned day play of the day. Because this defense did give up 42 points against the Joe Flacco-led Bengals, though, they do have studs at the receiving position. It makes sense. But, yeah, and on the other side, they just muddied the water a little bit. It's they're trying to bring back the Dave Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs situation they have in Detroit. Madungai could be involved with some goal line work. Dude, the dude looked really good, rushing for like 6.1 per rush. It's crazy that they're gonna put him on the back. This is the Rico Dowdle thing happening all over again. It's like, why not just stick with the guy that I know it's the Bengals defense, but just tore him a new one. Roma Dunza's got to have a brain. It has to come back. He's had a couple rough weeks here, but he has to have a good game here against this not great Giants defense.
Rome's dad was on Twitter saying they need to throw in the ball and all that, get him to a team that'll throw in the ball. That, so bad that he had to go on. Rome had to talk about it and be like, yeah, my dad's my dad. He's got his thoughts. I got mine, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't sound like he dismissed them. I'll say that. Yeah. I think he was kind of on board with those comments. And to be honest, he should. I'll say this. I think that it's going to be a little bit more of an even split for Swift. I don't think that Monungai is not going to get the chance to keep the hot hand. But yeah, it was the Bengals defense. What was it? You had British Brooks come in and rip off a 31-yard touchdown too. So I like Monungai. Don't get me wrong, but I am going to say that I think Swift will still get the chance to retain his role against a slightly tougher defense. Let's be honest about this Giants team. They are not great, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, if you were to look at the Giants on paper, they're bottom 8 against the pass. You go against the run. Or are they, Felix? Well, they're number 31 against the run. So it sucks it's a split. Like, right, if Swift was out again, we'd be jamming Monungai.
100%.
We're getting a 50-50 split for the most part.
That's right.
That's the way I'm going to treat it. If you want to play that game of Swift and Monungai and you're watching this show and you have conviction, I respect it. But, man, there's just a lot of uncertainty with what that backfield's going to be. It'll probably be Swift at a 50%. And then Monungai in the other 50%. But that's just guessing, right? Maybe closer to 60-40. But he'll be unknown for the most part here. Yeah, I mean, I got agreement with you with Rome, 6K. I'll still play the upside. Maybe the force on the ball. He dropped a touchdown last week. For those who didn't watch, dropped it.
Laser.
I mean, to be fair, I was from behind him. Yeah, I mean, like, Caleb Williams is terrible. All right, I watched that entire game. All right. Caleb Williams won me a lot of money. All right, thankful. Thank you, Caleb Williams. He's not a good quarterback, man.
No.
Any quarterback could have put up 47. Jake Browning could have beat that Bengals team and put up 47. I'll say that. He could have switched sides, played for the Bears, and the Bengals still would have lost that game. He was throwing balls behind guys at their feet. They were having to just stop for it.
He was trying to get out of that pocket any second he could, man. He was just
he's got
dipping out of the pocket. Like, what are you doing, man? Just stay in the pocket.
He does not ever step up and make a throw and zip one down the middle, man. And, they won the game. Don't get me wrong. I do not like this Bears team long-term with Caleb Williams. And, like, honestly, it kind of turned me off on, like, Odunze and stuff where it's like, no wonder why he can't produce. His quarterback's terrible. Jackson Dart, absolute dog. He'll take a lot of big hits. My worry on him is getting injured. Like, it's kind of similar to the Jaden Daniels. He's just taking a lot of hits right now, man. But he can pay it off. You can play him naked. I like your Slayton call a lot. Juan Dale was in a good spot last week. Got peppered with a lot of targets. Didn't really turn it into a bunch of yards. Theo Johnson looked pretty good last week too.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting game for the most part because you got two healthy teams. So it's just the split backfield and the fact that you have to trust Caleb Williams to put up points again. And I don't want to go through that experience.
I mean, maybe the defense was so bad we can start targeting the Bears defense. So this might be like a, stop worrying about Caleb and be stacked Dart with two and have like one bring back.
Stacking in would be nice. It's just like, who would be your bring back there too? Because now, like, you got DJ Moore look pretty good last week.
Zacchaeus has been looking good, man. I don't know.
Does Burton take that role down a little bit, right? Because like
I want him to, but he doesn't.
I know. You want Burton to have a bigger role, and it just never happens. And Zacchaeus like still there. It's like easier. That was last week. It was really easy to jam in Zacchaeus because we needed value. He was a great value play. He was going to be out.
He still is.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I mean, 3,600. Maybe you do go back to that well a little bit.
Yeah.
Why would they go away from him?
Yeah, two and stack it back with the Zacchaeus. It's not a bad stack.
We got Slayton and Theo Johnson running back. Yeah, I trust that Dart side a little bit. I like that. Move on from that game to maybe one of the best games of the day. You got the Patriots taking on the Bucs. This one's going to have a lot of fireworks in it, Felix. We got a lot of ownership in this one, just using the Sims as well. I think the biggest thing, right, is just Emeka Egbuka, hopefully fully back to complete health, right? Because if he is 7K, that's going to be a great target. Drake May is thoroughly impressed every single time out in that field. He might be my favorite quarterback play on the entire slate, but I'll go ahead and let you talk about the rest of this game, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited for this game just to watch it, kind of like I was last week, just to watch the Bills and KC. I do think that Ibuka's back in my head. He's healthy. Hopefully, we're all hoping for it because what a talent he is when he is out there. obviously, it's going to make this game a little bit more exciting. And Baker Mayfield's looked so good this year, and that's his guy. So if he's out there, it's gonna look good, and it's gonna make Tez Johnson hopefully freed up a little bit, not having like Christian Gonzalez all over him or something along those lines. I'm very excited to play Trevion Henderson. I know that Terrell Jennings got in there, but he didn't look like his explosive stuff, and you don't really typically want to target running backs going against this vaunted defensive line of Tampa Bay, but he's like more on the outside stretch type of play, not like hitting it right down the middle. Could lead to big plays. I'm a big fan of Henderson and Diggs in this game. With Booty out this week, it's just gonna be more targets funneled that direction, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense there. And what type of running back did we see thrive against the Bucs a few weeks ago? Jahmyr Gibbs, right? I think there were some comparisons of Trevion and Gibbs coming out. I could see that being the case. And you make that point with Boutte being out. Demario Douglas, he had a long one called back, even, right?
Yeah,
a long touchdown.
He looked good.
Yeah, and look, you mentioned it earlier, right? Diggs coming off this is earlier in the season, but it's like Diggs coming off an injury. You didn't want to target him right away. Yeah. Now is kind of the time. Now is kind of the time to get in.
9 weeks through, this is kind of like, okay, he should be locked into the offense, new offense. So he's finally, gelled in, over the injury, should be the guy. Now there are some rookies that people have been high on, like Kyle Williams, but yeah, I want to see that one before I believe it, because Mike Vrabel isn't too kind to the rookie.
Never. And I can get on board with Diggs and Douglas. Douglas will be running a lot from the slot. You got Hunter Henry here too. I mean, this Patriots side does look very tasty to stack up.
Yeah.
Big Rob, you mentioned doing a triple stack with Baker. With the tight end spot, not bad at all. All right, you wouldn't want 3 wide receivers, but if you do 2 wide receivers plus a running back or a tight end, I had a QB plus 3 do really well last week. So it's like, looking at that, I don't mind overstacking at all. Something I'm very open to. If you did that, you don't have to run it back. But if you did Douglas, Diggs, Henry, Trevion even can make that list as a running back. The big thing is, like, if you're doing a run back, like the running back spot you're not using, right? So it's like that would be like the spot to kind of use it at a little bit. I think that's just the take there, because then you're kind of leaving yourself. If you did 3 wide receivers in one game, the chances that another receiver on this slate goes off for 30 plus is incredibly high, and you might not have exposure to that. As I was studying all the ways that happened last week, Felix, and actually Kyron Williams was the 4th highest scoring running back last week. Can you believe that?
I mean, I did say he was going to be on my 2 touchdown parlay, and unfortunately, he only got 1. But
because Corum had 2 carries on the one drive.
Yeah, I was like, man, if we could just get more carries for my guy Kyron, it would have been a nice little hit, I think, because I think he would have gotten in.
Because I was like doing the math, and it was like Rico Dowdle, you had CMC and Manungai, and then it was Kyron Williams, and then you look at the top receivers and Drake London. See, you want to still have exposure for that nuclear spot at the other positions too. Tell me a little bit more about Tez. I know that you kind of talked about Parker Washington and Tez a little bit. Are you still on Tez over Parker Washington after 30 minutes ago I brought that up?
Yeah, I if you're looking for a floor play, then not saying he has a low floor. I'm saying Parker Washington has a solid upper floor that Tez does not have. Parker is going to get 15 targets probably in this game, right? Because there's really nobody else to throw it to. So if you're looking for that, I think Tez brings 50-yard bombs and 2 touchdowns to his table that I think Parker may not have, because that game is it's going to be a little bit lower scoring in my thoughts.
Even against that Lions game, he was missing a touchdown wide open over the field. So they had a bye week since then, right? So
yes, they had a bye week last week.
Bye week, and then this is their first game back. So I'm trying to think. I was like, that's what?
Man, Bucky Irving is killing my best ball teams, man.
Oh, he's got to come back soon, you'd hope. You look at it, Sabre loves this game. They would have exposure to the entire Bucs offense, sans Sean Tucker. I like Baker Mayfield. I like him with Buka. I like him with Tez, with Sterling Shepard and Kate Otten too. Like, those guys are all good. One thing I was kind of shocked by, Felix, when looking at this game.
Yeah.
Patriots are now number 20 against the pass this year in terms of yards given up per game. And Michael Penix and Drake London had an insane week against them last week, right? More Drake London for the most part, but they have 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. I'm kind of getting on board there. And, we have Egbuka, you got Tez. Those guys are going to play the entire game. I think I'm going to be on Parker for floor, Tez for upside on that question. Really, I'm just like doing
Can somebody explain why we have so much ownership on Rachaad White? Is it? I mean, maybe I don't see them a lot of opening lanes for Rachaad here, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm out on Rachaad at that price.
Yeah,
I think it's just a little high, right? We already like Rico. We've already talked to. I think it's like the thing too, where it's like you got Keshawn Judkins there. You don't really have a prime running back in the Jags game, right? You kind of run out of prime running back. So he's one of the guys who's going to be a bell cow, and at the end of the day, he is going to be a bell cow. And then until you kind of get into these latter games, bell cow with Henry, bell cow with Cook, bell cow with A-Chain, no bell cow, Gibbs Monty still a split. Kyron bell cow, Washington's a mess, and then you have bell cows. So it's like 7 or 8 bell cows.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense, but I think 25 is a little high. I think 15 would be more accurate. But it's going to be a very popular game. He could easily be a guy.
That's true. They just want to have him run back or something, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the stats, or not the stats, but it was week 8 when they last played. What was that game? Lions schedule. I got to check this. It was because Mike Evans didn't run any routes. It was the Vikings game. That's what it was. Bucks. Then they played the Vikings. Then they had a bye. Not a bye. They played last week. Jesus. Wait. No. Bucks. Oh my gosh. I'm derailing the show here.
You're good.
It was Saints. They played the Saints 23-3, and then they were on a bye week last.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to think of the math because Sterling Shepard ran 18 routes. But it was Egbuka, Auden, and Tez splitting from the slot. So Sterling kind of almost exclusively lined up outside. About 33% of his routes from the slot. But it's those 3 plus Auden at the wide receiver and tight end position there. Lots to like in this game. I overstack it for sure. Ravens, Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Ravens defense is awful. Problem is, I don't think that highly of JJ McCarthy.
Oh, no, man. 9? You can't talk about 9 like that. Yes.
We bought in after game 1. We sold
buy a 9 jersey, man.
All right, talk to me about this game here, Felix.
Man, how are we going to judge somebody off of 2 hours, 6 hours of work? We got to let them have some time.
Be carried by his defense.
Good running game, but stepping in, he hit all the right checkdowns, looked really good in the pocket, hit anticipated throws. I thought he looked really good. I thought it wasn't as bad. Yeah, I love it, man. Give me the corniness. I love corny if it's winning. I think he actually didn't look half bad. I think that was against the Detroit Lions, the people that have them picked to win the Super Bowl. I think he's going to come up and show out that he should be the best second-year quarterback, closely behind Drake May.
Closely.
He's right behind. Yeah, after the
ocean between them.
Yeah, he's 2-1 this year, man. He's looked good.
So you did beat the Lions last week. I'll give you credit.
And this putrid defensive back room, that's the Ravens. I mean, they had to ship out the Jair Alexander, who I thought was like one of their biggest bring-ins. He was so bad. So I do think they have a field day this week against that defense. And I love bringing it back with Zay Flowers. The hand builds that I built so far, it's been a couple 9, and then bringing it back with Zay.
Yeah, the first Lamar game back, gets the cupcake. Dolphins. Yeah, terrible. Jalen Waddle looked halfway decent. Tua looked terrible. A-Chain looked okay. This week, you go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
People are thinking, Lamar's back. The Ravens are fine. Lamar is back. Lamar doesn't play defense, ladies and gents. Lamar doesn't play. This defense is horrible.
Yeah.
And again, am I salty that JJ McCarthy is the quarterback that I have to click on? Yeah, I am. I don't like JJ McCarthy. However, what Felix said is exactly right. You're jamming with Justin Jefferson. You got Addison, a big play potential there. You got TJ Hawkinson at 3,300. I am very okay playing the passing game because this Ravens secondary, god awful. You run it back. Maybe you can just go with Jefferson, right? Maybe you just go with Addison, but you can still stack up Lamar a little bit. My thing with Lamar is we saw it kind of last week too, that Thursday night game. Volume can be very, very sparse for whoever he's throwing to. And it's not, their fault or anything like that. But when you only throw like 23 times, Henry touches the ball 25, these games can kind of grind to a slight halt when the Ravens are in the lead. And that's kind of what happened last week. No one really did anything, except Mark Andrews had a pair of touchdowns and stuff. But, no one else really did a damn thing. And that's kind of my one fear with this game. But if the Vikings can hit early, score first, these games have the potential to explode. And the Ravens have always had a very clear path to these games hitting the optimal, right? As long as they kind of go down early and they have to chase the game a little bit, the potential's there. Again, Felix, my slight concerns are, they kind of grind this one to a halt. But we have seen this Vikings defense, right? Last year, they were a little bit of a pass funnel. This year, things are like slightly different, right? This year, they're slightly tougher against the pass for the most part. I'm going to pull up their stats here. So this year, they are, top 8 against the pass, 194.5 yards per game. And then against the run, they are 20th. So a slight flip of last year to this year. I think if I'm playing Lamar, I don't think I need to go with a double stack. I'm debating that right now. So I think it would be like Lamar plus Andrews or Likely or Flowers ran back with Addison or Jefferson.
Yeah.
You can throw in Hawkinson there too. Henry's 6,800. He is still the bell cow. This is the spot to attack the Vikings on, is their run defense, 20th in the league. They give up 122 yards a game. However, they have given up only 6 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns this year, which would put them, I think, tied for 9th. So that's not bad. No. What are you doing with Derrick Henry specifically?
He was on the first few of my underdog drafted battle royale teams. He does fit a scenario or a game that I do like where they do get ahead and JJ has to bring them back. And it's a passing. So I do see them. Though they don't only have given up 6 touchdowns, it is Derrick Henry. He's a different person than the rest of the league. So if they can get him going, it could spark a different type of game scenario.
I agree. Richie Smalls, Puka got hurt in that game and it was super windy, right? That was like the big thing. I think I'm throwing that one out on an outlier. It was very windy. They still gave up 14 in the third quarter, and then the Rams kind of put the sleeper hold on that game. Hardly any plays were ran too. Well, I think I don't even know if they reached 50 plays total in that one, which is incredibly slow pace. McVay grinded that game down to a damn halt. Big Rob, you mentioned one of the chances Henry just takes over this game. I mean, if Henry took over, I don't even want to run back at that point. God.
Yeah.
It'd be some. I probably would run it back, but yeah, Andrews 3 for 25, 2 tutties. Please no, I created him last time.
Oh, I played Likely. I thought he was going to be a smash play, and I was just like, ugh, why do I do that? Why do I do that? It's always Andrews with Lamar.
1,000%. The anti-play of the day. That's a showdown thing, people. There's too many anti-play. We you know what? We'll sort by ownership, and I'll tell you my least favorite one at the end of the show. Moving on from this game. The Bills looked great last week. Look at this massive team total here. James Cook smashed 2 weeks ago. Smashed. Who do they go against? It was like the Giants or something like that. He had just 3 touchdowns or whatever. Had just a massive amount of fantasy points. This week, kind of in the same spot. One of the worst rushing defenses overall against the Miami Dolphins. You got A-Chain at 7,400, who's been a great PPR machine. Waddle, 6,400 is still too cheap. Right, this is still a decent team total, and then Kincaid is showing up as the number 1 guy for Josh Allen when it matters. Felix, who do you like in this game?
Man, how do we not go to play some Josh Allen naked here? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't have to be naked, but Josh Allen is definitely my favorite quarterback on the slate. Just going against this team, there's already been some reports of James Cook dealing with a couple things. So it might bring in Ty Johnson. It might bring in some Ray Davis. Dalton Kincaid had a bit of a breakout game against the Chiefs last week, so that would be my favorite pairing. But it's, can Kincaid put 2 weeks together? It always does seem like he puts up one game and then falls off the next. So I can see, if they get in close, maybe, Josh Allen sneaks a couple in. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be playing on the the Bills side. On the Dolphins side, they're not the strongest against the run. We saw it earlier this year. I think Achane had a pretty good performance. I don't remember what the exact score was, but it was decent.
So Achane's been wide receiver 2. I mean, he's RB1 and wide receiver 2 on this Dolphins team. And I don't look forward to a slate where I click his name.
Yeah.
But on DraftKings especially, those 5, 6, sometimes 7 catches can really add up. Yeah. And I it's a play that I never love. I don't like making the click, especially as a 10-point dog. But when the receiving upside is as large as it is, my only fear with him is now that Ollie Gordon is now kind of supplanting himself as maybe the short yardage guy, right? Where you kind of have a little bit of that, he gets you down to the goal line and Ollie Gordon's vultures it. Mm-hmm. The 7,400 and 7,500, these are the 2 best guys in this game. And Sabre feels the same way. They're giving you those 2 guys. My argument for Kincaid, Felix, would be he's been that guy all season when he hasn't been hurt, right? When he's been healthy, he has been the guy. And we all wanted him to be that guy, the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And I think he is finally stepping up to be that guy, over 100 yards. I do think, the higher stakes the game is, right? I think Kincaid's going to show out just like he did against the Chiefs. But I mean, when he went over 100 yards last week, it wasn't shocking. Right. Because, he's always had that talent, right? I mean, he's a kid out of Utah, right? Hopefully I didn't get that wrong because I remember watching late night Dalton Kincaid. It had to be Utah. Yeah, it was. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't.
I think it was. I wasn't going to say anything embarrassing.
Well, I didn't want to screw that one up. I was just making sure. But yeah, it's like, I think those would be the only 3 guys for me. And then you can throw in the Bills defense or the Dolphins defense. Dolphins defense 2K. It's okay for a complete punt. But you don't want to dismiss defenses that has burned some people. Last week was probably the most neutral defense slate we had. Like the Rams defense did okay. Yeah, the Falcons defense actually did really good for their Texans defense, but it wasn't like a defense went off. That's even with a couple of defensive touchdowns early. So don't want to completely dismiss defense, but the Bills defense, especially against Tua, at 37, no one's gonna play him. I think I would bump up that Bills defense.
Yeah, I think I like that. I like that call because I just looked at it as well. I'm like, it's not. I mean, I know it's on the top end.
Yeah,
but I like picking on the teams that are on the top end. I know that people like to punt off defenses. Like I could save money somewhere else. I'm like, I'll play the higher end.
I've seen Tua play quarterback race.
I've seen him play. It's not good.
My favorite part is it literally like it could be just a moot point. Like they take a kickoff back or something like that. It's like I do want to keep. If I'm like doing 150, right? Like I don't want to completely dismiss the defense, but especially against Tua. Yeah. I like playing Achane and Cook together. I do like that too. This is my favorite I didn't win much in NFL this year at all until Sunday. So we're just due, P-Lally. We're just due. And I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but I'll victory lap it.
I'll tell you what, Saber Sim is the GOAT though for Sims. I will say you need to be on Saber Sim. I just almost took down a college football slate. A smaller end version. But and I don't know anything about. I listen to the show, in the mornings, and I do my best. But yeah,
no, it's good. It's good, and it's helps you really correlate across the board. I still haven't figured out college football. I did run a lineup today, and I fell out of the 5-5-5 in the last drive of that Vandy game. So yeah, I was tilted. Country boy, Jazz. Yeah, I know. I look forward to this weekly at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and just rifle off 1, 2, 2, 1. I'm not gonna give you the flex. I'll give you the flex. Gut shot. Always Mahomes. Always Mahomes. CMC. Like, come on. Why do you have to include those guys? Why do you got to include Mahomes and CMC, man? Who's Jones? You gotta help me out here. Which Jones?
Jones.
I'm on NBA mode. I'm on Herb Jones right now. I'm on that. I'm looking at Herb Jones for the Pelicans right now.
I'm going to go Walker just because I don't know who Jones is. I'm sorry that I'm not.
I'm completely blanking on this.
Yeah.
It's making me upset that I'm blanking on
it. I'm down for Pierce, though. No, it can't be Zay.
No, it's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
If I put Jones Jr., I would have had a better shot.
Yeah.
I'll go Walker and CMC.
Yeah.
Then Diggs.
I'm going Olave, Diggs, and Pierce at the flex, and then tight end wise, I'm just going to obviously play No Joku because Waller's.
To be fair, I'm so glad he prefaced that it's a 12-man because I was thinking that roster was buns for a 10-man.
Yeah.
The fact that it's 12-man, okay, it makes sense that you have to dig deep in the bag for like an Alex Pierce to the flag. And Joku or Waller? Well, it's a Joku, right? Yeah, well, it has to be because Waller's not in, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Joku.
Yeah. All right. Please shorten that up next time, my guy.
Yeah. We don't need the extra. We don't need the extras, man. I promise.
Yes, please. Were you really considering not playing CFC? No. Go ahead and move on to Arizona and Seattle. Not enough nice things can be said about Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, just incredible stuff. Even with Cup out last week, this offense didn't skip a beat. The problem is, outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba for a main slate, this offense becomes a little bit stretched, right? Horton could show up, Arroyo could show up, Barner could show up, Cup should show up. And now you got Rashid Shaheed, who I know you're a big fan of. I'm a big fan of. That's going to make this wide receiver room messy. But when you have a potential Triple Crown winner of Jackson Smith and Jigba, right, like it becomes a little easier to stomach him. Another Ohio State wide receiver in this same game. You knew I was going to get to that one. Marvin Harrison, man, with Jacoby Brissett. They didn't have to throw the ball in the second half. That's why his production dipped in that Cowboys game. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. at 5,300 here, Felix, especially at under 5% ownership. I'm buying that Jacoby Brissett's going to keep finding it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to have quite a few Jacoby Brissett doubles with Harrison and McBride. And he can see the whole field apparently that our boy Kyler Murray can't see over his lineman's numbers. If I don't have McBride in the lineup, it's because I do want A.J. Barner. I've always targeted tight ends against the Cardinals. It's something I will continue to do the rest of my life. I feel like, this wide receiver room just got super messy. Like my 40-year-old favorite wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, he's out. You can't play him anymore. He just doesn't have the explosiveness that he once had. JSN is going to get his targets. I do think at 8,600, it's going to be hard to stomach the potential drop of his target share with Rashid Shaheed there, because Rashid knew the offense coordinator already from the previous year, so he doesn't need a lot to get locked into this lineup. So I think we bring down the projection of JSN typically, and everybody else gets everybody else gets a little bit downgraded to what they're normally fed. Yeah,
it makes sense. I think JSN's so good that they're not going to take targets away from him at all, right? Like they've been. Well, it took him 2 seasons to finally get him the ball, right? Like he's always been this talented. He's always been this guy. Like when he's in a wide receiver room with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, who they point to as the best wide receiver in that room, they all pointed at Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like I think he's.
I always say he may not, just because he might be open 50 down yards on the field, and that just might cut the game in half. Where it's like, we only need to throw it or run it 2 more times. It's like I don't know. I think that it opens it up too much, man. It's like bringing OBJ to the Rams that year. It's like that's not fair.
Oh, and then OBJ, that was the year they won the Super Bowl. Damn, against the Bengals. Yeah,
be a Chargers Seahawks Super Bowl. Chargers Seahawks Super Bowl.
This is fair. It wasn't JSN. That game was first half. I don't think he had a target. Or he didn't have a target until like a 2-minute drill or something like that.
The tight ends rocked that game to start off with.
Yep, I do remember that. That was a prime time. I think that was Thursday night, I believe.
Yeah, it was like Elijah Arroyo broke down. I think that was like Arroyo's like breakout kind of on prime time a little bit.
Yep. And he still got 80 yards and no touchdowns that
game. Yeah.
I'm in on Jackson Smith and Jigba. The problem is, will I find the salary to do that? Seems like Sabersim is wanting me to do that. Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison doubles with Jacoby Brissett at only 4,600. This game is in Seattle. That's the one concern, right? Arizona Cardinals team total is not very healthy. But I think I'm going to be tempted by it. I do think that this offense has a ton of weapons. I don't think that Kyler Murray is any good. I think they really want Jacoby Brissett to keep this momentum. And with Kyler Murray on the IR now, it kind of allows Brissett to be a little bit free. I'm in on Brissett.
They just took him out of the league, essentially. How to get rid of somebody like that just the ball hit him in the face and take him out of the league.
I mean, you know what? More time to play Call of Duty. More time to play Call of
Hey,
Duty.
it comes out this week. I think.
Does it? I've been on that Battlefield 6 grind, Richie Smalls. I haven't played in like a week or so, but
I play Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty right after this on my stream. We played some Resurgence on God.
You know, that was funny. I've always had the idea of I use the PGA 2K and this Road to Masters game for my golf bets. I do that just to see what the slope of the greens are and like where certain locations are. But I've been like doing that for like live betting and stuff where like I'll like, hey, where's this ball going to settle at, right? And they're very accurate because they scan the courses.
Oh yeah, I played it. I'm not good.
I actually based it on my on bets I gave out in the Discord about a couple months ago. I think it was in August it was actually in August, because it was right near the PGA Championship or the Tour Championship. And it paid dirt, right? Because the ball kept ending at like 45 feet. And I wasn't like preaching like it was the gospel, but DraftKings was giving us like a 29.5 number. And it's like, if you hit the over on that, the ball will filter back if they're like even a foot below the hole. So yeah, we might have some future RPS streams that involve video games. All right, enough of the nerd talk. Yeah, like it. That's good stuff right there. We'll go ahead and move on to the Lions taking on the Washington Commanders. The Commanders going off one of their worst performances of the year. Not a whole lot to look forward to for them. Still, an okay team total, right? Like, that's the big thing. This is a Lions team that gave up 27 to a lowly J.J. McCarthy last week. Just one last jab at the former Michigan man. Jahmyr Gibbs was the one who disappointed last week. And there is, like, a case for...
My play of the day. Jesus.
Oh, I liked it, man. And Dave Montgomery's kind of been like slightly outperforming Gibbs this year, right?
And fumbled. Yeah.
And Laporta had the early touchdown, right? I think he had 3 for 60 and 1 on the first drive. And then you really didn't see that much of him over the course of the game. Jameson Williams, same way. What's your take on this game with the Lions team with an incredible team total, but not a whole lot of amazing individual plays?
So my first 5 builds are all Lion smashes. Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Laporta, and Lions D. Bringing it back with absolutely nothing because it is a bearing over there. And then finding cheap plays elsewhere. I've faded Mariota and gotten hurt before. I'm going to do it again because this team is generally way worse. It just feel like they should have sold everything. All the vibes are bad over there. I feel like it's going to be a beatdown over there.
So are you on board then with the golf double stacks, right?
Yeah.
A 50 spot for the Lions potentially.
I was thinking 40 to the 3, but 50 spot. I like that.
So I want to bring up that game from earlier in the season, right? Because you can like it or not, right? Or you can believe in narratives or not, but who did he put 50 on earlier in the season was Ben Johnson, right? And it was right after a loss to the Packers.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson was the reason for all this. Ben Johnson was the reason why this Lions team, they go out and kick some ass. You're telling me that this Lions team isn't carrying a little extra weight in this game? What do they do in that game, Felix? 3 and 34 for golf through the air, 5 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns to Amon-Ra. You had 2 for 108 for Jameson Williams. You had 3 for 28 to Brock Wright.
Yeah,
I am on board. I think I am. If I'm playing the Lions, I'm not doing them individually.
Is there a way to bet on an offensive lineman getting a touchdown?
DraftKings Sportsbook would probably be your best bet for that.
Yeah, I don't think they have it on there, or at least not on mine. I've never seen it, but I feel like that's in play this week based off of like how angry they're going to be.
You know, it's funny. Last year, DC and I did a Super Bowl show, and we were actually on one of the funkier bets of the year, and it was like under 8.5 Chiefs to catch a pass that game, right? Like, they do offer some props, but let's go ahead and see if there's anything here. Yeah, like nothing. It doesn't look like. Yeah. So,
I've never seen any other book have it, but you're probably right. DraftKings would be the only place to have it.
Yeah, Bet 365 would be like another area. What you'd have like request a bet maybe online or something. Golf always out low own rants. Yep, Richie Smalls 2.5%. I can get on board with that, guys, especially with that incredible team total. A spot where we've already seen this Lions team at 50 plus in the past and win a million maker. I'm okay with that. Especially in
my first 50K.
Yeah, that's going to be – I like it. Man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on this game before moving on to our final game, and we'll get to our pick 6 and plays of the day?
No, I liked everything. Just the line side, obviously.
Oh, Mason. Oh, God. Yeah. You know what? Maybe this is a sign for you to go ahead and buy the ticket to Kauai, man. Buy that ticket to Honolulu.
Yeah, dude. I went to Maui when I was just after my senior last football game of senior year. Dude, nothing better than golfing out in Maui.
Oh, that's it just got cold, Mason. If you're in the Northeast area, if you're in the Midwest, I know it's cold as hell, man. I know it's cold as hell. Rams, 49ers, Christian McCaffrey. It's not like he's efficient on the ground, but damn, the volume is crazy, man, especially through the air and all sorts of things. Huge division game, right? Like, we shouldn't short this one. Like, this is an amazing game to have at 425, right? Like, I think the Lions Commanders is pretty cool, but the fact that this game is on a company, even this, like, AFC, NFC West, lots to look forward to in this 4 o'clock set. Puka, 8,700 as well. Felix, I really like this game on paper. My biggest thing, though, is who do I target from it, right? Who do I go? Who's my favorite? Who's my least favorite? What do you think?
Puka off the injury report, so I don't know why it's grayed out for you, but Puka off the injury reports. When we always say when he's healthy, you got to play him. So I think either the smash play, obviously the bring back with the CMC is always good. Kendrick Bourne had a huge game. This is the Kendrick Bourne game where he would pop off that week, and I'm personally thinking Juwan Jennings now has a bigger role than I want him to. So I do think he eats into that share. It's hard to bring, and I don't think George Kittle was playing then yet. So it could be even a higher scoring game than it was it 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it could be a shootout. I'm gonna probably bet on the Puka dominates a little bit. Kyron slows down the game narrative. Like they're dominating through Puka, but the first 2 plays are like Kyron 3-yard runs, and then they pass it to Puka over and over again down the field.
That's kind of what it was in the first half against the Saints. It was just Puka, right? That was just the one thing. He kind of got banged up a little bit, if I recall correctly. I wouldn't mind a stack of Puka and McCaffrey, and I think we said this last week. If you've been playing the Rams all season long, you've been profiting all season long, all right? Like that for the most part. I know they had slight hiccups over the last few weeks, but at the same time, it is kind of just amazing to keep on seeing Stafford have insane success, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And this 49ers defense is nothing to really be scared. And if they do try and slow this game down, right, like, it would be through Kyron or it'd be through McCaffrey, but the 49ers, they just can't run the ball. And so the Giants game they played, what was it, last week? The first half went by really fast, but it was because like a lot of completions on both ends of the ball, right? It was just like, I think at one point Jones was 13 of 13 or whatever, and Jackson Dart only had 1 incompletion as well. I really want to get a large portion of this game. We're going to go ahead and do a sim here because I want people to see this too. You know what? We can even do it by projected score. All right. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and click on Puka and McCaffrey and see where they kind of rank projected score wise. So you actually have, that is the top projected team is a Puka McCaffrey line. And look who else you can get in there. Dowdle, Jennings, you got a Mac Jones double stack basically. Chris Moore would be your cheapie, Zay Flowers. So you have a lot of room to work with this lineup.
Yeah.
But that is something, that's the type of build that I can get behind, right? I know that we already talked about like a lot of guys that we already like in these games, but this is one of my favorites to stack up with McCaffrey and Puka just in terms of volume and floor. Would we be neglecting other stacks, right? That's the thing when you're especially spending up at 2 premier positions, the top premier guys. Yeah, you'd be you wouldn't have any Jackson Smith and Jigba. You wouldn't have any of the Lions. You wouldn't have much of that Patriots Bucks games that we like. But if you were to double stack it, right, you can still see the path here. And when it was the top projected teim or one of the top projected teams,
it was number 2, yeah.
It is a path where I guess it was like number 10. I when I clicked on McCaffrey, it became like number 2 or something like that.
Gotcha.
But you can still pivot off Zay Flowers to a piece where it's like Tez Johnson and then up from Chris Moore to, someone else, right? I'm trying to think of that DeMario Douglas, for example. So still a little bit to like. I mean, this show started off slow, but then you just have these absolute bangers.
Yeah, bangers. Yeah. The 4 o'clock slate is going to be really good. The 1 o'clock, you're going to just watch the Bucks Patriots game.
Bucks, we can throw in the Ravens, Bears, right? Like you got those.
Yeah. There's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple.
It's like the last four. The first three are terrible. Then like those last four.
They were really bad.
Mason Weber, can you DFS in Hawaii? No, you cannot. You cannot do that in Hawaii. I will say that.
I was only 17. I could do that now.
Danny, this is a good point too, because I know I said that like if I'm playing the Lions, I want to double stack them, right? But I wouldn't want to play them individually. My only problem is like outside of the running backs and Amon-Ra, which I mean, I guess that's half the offense. It's just like, can I get them right? And is Jameson going off without one of Laporta, Gibbs, or Monty going off, right? Or something like that. So like that's the one thing, because we have seen him go off or do halfway decent with Amon-Ra doing nothing. Like last week was kind of similar to that. So that's fair enough. I do think that's a very fair point. We can do a Lion stack with a Saints stack, and it's gold. Yeah, you know what? Half that is well. You know what? The Saints colors is gold. Colors are gold too.
Yeah,
this is a very fair point too. Bourne did light this team up, right? You were mentioning that with Jennings potentially having a larger role. I can get on board with that, man. I can get on board with that. All right. Anything else that we want to mention about this game before we move on to our plays of the day?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our plays of the day here. Felix, go ahead and also do a pick six at the end of the show, and then we will be perfect for the weekend. So, Felix, are you ready? Do you already have a play of the day, or should I stall a little bit? Should I tell people to like and subscribe on this video?
Well, it's a smart thing to do if you do like and subscribe.
Yeah, this is a very smart thing to do. You can get some notifications when we go live. Anything else, you'll also have the morning wood tomorrow. You'll have the Sunday night up to lock show that we do too with Kurt, me, and whoever else is wanting to join. Felix, if you ever want to do a Sunday night show, if you ever want to, I'm not.
I mean, I would love to, but I am not available, unfortunately.
That's what I figured. I know that that's a busy time for a lot of people, especially like coming off the post football side. That's like when I would eat dinner too. It was around 7:30. So
yeah, that's putting the kids to bed while I'm watching it on my phone.
Yeah, it's funny because like doing this for 5 years now, like my body is like fully like, you're not going to be hungry until 8:30, right? Then I go like grab Wendy's or something because I can't cook. But I could definitely that was probably the prime time to eat on Sunday night.
Yeah,
Felix, who is your play of the day this week?
So first time of the year, we're going back to the exact same player we had the previous week, Jahmyr Gibbs, and it's how do you against this team that's looking putrid in a good height, in a good scoring spot. I think it's Jahmyr Gibbs blowing up this week.
Yes, sir. You know what? Flop lag. That's what we call it.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Call it the old flop lag. Guy who failed the previous week but goes back, thunders it down. Absolutely, basically a puke and rally, right?
Yeah.
But it might have been a little bit awful last week, but this is the week that he gets going. This is a good week for it. Yeah. I like that a lot. Felix, I don't think I've gone a quarterback this year, but if this ownership is right, under 8K or under 8%.
Okay.
Going to go Drake May, 6,400. I'm believing. I'm a Drake May believer, man.
I like it.
You mentioned
the way to attack this defense is through the air.
Through the air.
Yeah.
Being the force in the middle, you got to go over him. You can't go through him. That's for sure. And you liked him last week against the Falcons in that first half. Drake May, looked great. Had a long touchdown. Even called back. Second half. Well, the Falcons are one of the top defenses in the league. Drake May double stack. That's my Millie winning pick. Double stack. All right. Do you know the anti-play of the day? Are you aware of that, Felix?
Yeah, I tune in. Yeah.
My anti-play of the day will be Zay Flowers.
Okay. I'll say, don't pick Rachaad White because that was mine. I was going to throw it out there.
I like it. You know what? Zay Flowers and Rachaad White. Zay Flowers, 30%. There's no way he gets that high. No way. 30% of the people are clicking Zay Flowers and playing it for 7 targets.
Yeah.
No way. You said Rachaad White?
Yep.
I like it. And it's just, like you said, it's a tougher spot for running backs, right? But he is the bell cow, but at the same time, I know you're not a believer in his talent. I'm not. Really.
I'm not. Yeah.
Good metrics out of Arizona State, but that hasn't materialized much at all. All right, guys. Pick 6. Stick around if you want some props. If you bet the props individually, if you're having an okay year. It's just we haven't hit a pick 6.
We haven't gotten it together, man. My random one that I gave after the fact hit, of course. And
I always.
Always.
And that was the funny thing is the last time I said that, I hadn't had a sweat in a long time, right? And then all of a sudden, we haven't had a sweat in a long time on pick six.
Yeah.
Throwing out, that's good mojo. That's good.
Yeah.
Good groove. Felix, let's go ahead and dive into this pick six for tomorrow's games. And you can choose, Sunday morning if you want to. I'll open up the door. People wake up to a sweat. It's always fun.
All right. I'm going to go with the first one. Woody Marks over 12.5 receiving yards.
Ooh, yes. I like that. I like these low bar ones that we can go over on.
Yes. Go over early.
Hey, they're not putting Chubb out there on third down.
No.
That's Woody Marks.
Yeah.
All right. This one. I kind of get a little bit of hope with this one. Okay. I'm going to go with Colston Loveland. Over 26.5. Ben Johnson did not watch him last week. Just absolutely nuked the game. Touchdown, game-winning touchdown. I know Komet's back. Colston Loveland's tight end 1. It's not close anymore. Komet's in the dust. This is at Colston Loveland over 26.5 spot here.
Nice.
Pick 3, Felix.
Pick 3. You go back to back here because I had it, but my whole thing made me log in and I lost my whole slip.
I got another one though. I got another one ready. I wanted to go a touchdown. All right. The touchdown odds weren't great, but I feel really good about it. I think this guy keeps that momentum going. I think the Panthers are absolutely loving the fact that Rico Dowdle, reclaimed RB1. Rico Dowdle scores tomorrow. It's only a 0.8x multiplier, but we end up getting 6 picks. I think it'll pay dirt in the end, all be all.
All right. I have JCM, Bill, cross-game merits, under 34.5 rushing yards.
Oh, I like it. So are you banking on Chris Rodriguez potentially assuming a larger role?
C-Rod's going to take over with the other guy, and it's just going to be – they're going to be so down so much they're going to try to pass the ball, and it's just – that's how they're going to try to –
At what point do they stop making Ja'Cory Cross-game merit try to happen, Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while. That's all I'll say. I wasn't a big fan of him, for the most part, coming out of college or not college, coming into the season for best ball and stuff.
But, everybody was on it. I was like, I had a few shares at 160, but when they got up to the 5th round, I was like, well, you guys are just wilding. Yeah.
All right. Are we going to go with the Demario Douglas prop? I think we're going to go with the Demario Douglas prop.
Okay, I like it.
34.5 receiving yards. Over. I'm going to go. That's a simple one right there. We haven't had a Patriot one yet. We're both high on the Patriots. I like it.
And
last one.
Stephon Diggs to go with your play of the day. Over 56.5 receiving yards.
Woo! You know what? I like it. Especially about the Drake May one, so the correlation doesn't get factored in. I don't know. Pick 6 does that. Let's see. Do I have a winning boost? Our guys at Pick 6 always do a winning boost. Surely we got a winning boost for today. We do. We got a claim now on an NFL winnings boost. What do you think that is, Felix? Is it our classic 30%er?
I'm looking for I don't see one for me.
You were unable to play, but you can play. Well, they got my location wrong.
30 winnings. Yeah, is what I have for CFB, but I don't have one for football or NFL.
All right. I got a 30% boost, $50 bet, $50 into 1,000. And that would be with 30% boost, 50 until 1,300. If it hits, we'll do a $100 giveaway tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. I'll post that into the Discord for anyone who cares. Should be a good time. Felix, appreciate you. Again, if we don't hit $1 million this week, maybe we hit 300K. It's your turn this time. We'll have a good time. Hopefully it's one of y'all who hits it as well. For Felix and I, have a great rest of y'all's day. Bye-bye.